Welcome back, everyone, to the Coconut Curry, a place where you can be an agonizing Eagles fan and a really happy Phillies fan. We are the Coconut Curry podcast. If you haven't been here before, we are three college guys at the University of Pittsburgh. We talk sports. We have a good time doing it. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out a bunch. We missed last week's episode if you keep following along, so sorry about that. You know, college life took its toll, and the Phillies game also took its toll as we were celebrating a week of really good fortune. And that's what we're going to start off with. MLB news, which we never talk about the MLB, so here we are.
But we're back. We're so back.
I don't talk about the MLB much, but I do when the Phillies are good.
Yes.
Big Dubs only. Phillies take down the Braves in the NLDS, as well as the Astros winning their series and then the Rangers winning their series. So we got Diamondbacks versus Phillies, Astros versus Rangers. Raj, just reaction as a Phillies fan. What's going through your head right now?
We're so back. Castellanos owns Strider. Honestly, like, my honest reaction was when we went and watched it on Saturday, I think I lost my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And at TC or at one of our local pubs.
I mean,
we're 21. We can say you go there.
I didn't mean TC. I meant Boots, but.
We went there on Thursday.
And then on Thursday, I also lost my voice again.
Yeah.
Watching the Phillies, and I also had an exam the next day. So, oops,
Yeah.
worth it. But honestly, this run has been crazy. It's reminiscent of. I don't think it's the same as last year. We're not the underdogs anymore.
You were the underdogs against the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, like right now. Though,
yeah.
I'm saying like right now throughout this, before we were the 6th seed, now we're the 4th seed.
Now it's a much more of like a closer thing.
90-win team. We have second best odds right now. I think we might jump, or Rangers might jump now because they're up.
Yeah, Rangers were plus 100 odds.
Yeah.
We're recording this on Monday night. This will probably be uploaded Tuesday, sometime maybe Wednesday. So Monday night right now, the Rangers are up. I don't know what the score currently is, but they were up big a little bit ago. So Rangers are now currently plus 110, which means you almost will have to start. They'll almost start being favored to win the World Series, like outright, like
5-3, top of the 8th.
5-3. So Rangers win that game. They're going to be up 2-0 on the Astros, and of course the Phillies are
stealing 2 games at home, like on
away,
the road.
Yeah,
the Astros are. I don't know what's going on with them.
As a resident Yankees fan, I love watching the Astros.
I mean, me too. I kind of have a bone to pick with Jose Altuve.
Oh, me too.
Oh, cool.
It's a specific bone to pick with this specific person.
And also Yordan Alvarez. I'm still scarred. It's just pain.
Yeah, it's not great. I was kind of hoping for a rematch, but it's going to be really tough down 2-0 in the series. 64% of people who win game 1 win the series. If when you go up 2-0, it's probably like 85% or so.
Yeah.
So it's going to be challenging for them to win out the series. It's probably going to be a Rangers, and I'm going to say it's going to be a Phillies World Series.
Looks like it's going to be Rangers-Phillies.
I mean, listen, the Diamondbacks had a great run to that beginning stage. They could still continue that magic coming through, but if you just look at the quality of competition faced, like the Braves are a much better team than, well, not much better, but they're better than the Dodgers, and I just don't. How long can the Diamondbacks sustain something like this? Is the real
My
question.
thing is, like, this is definitely like a miracle run for the Diamondbacks right now, just because, like, they were not supposed to be this good this year at all. Like, they started playing way above their pay grade, and their bats are absolutely flying. They dominated this last series, and I mean, the only thing that I would be scared about if I was a Phillies fan, would I be looking at this is like the Braves just could not hit. I don't know what was wrong with them; they just couldn't hit. And if the Diamondbacks get on a streak where they just start hitting bombs, like, who was the one pitcher that came in and nearly blew one of the games?
Kimbrel did it once.
No, it was like Dominguez or something.
Sir Anthony Dominguez, yeah.
Yeah, like if Dominguez comes in and
no, Soto who did that. Soto
did that? Okay.
Oh,
I forget.
What?
No. I'm saying that during it was, I think it was like 1 or 2.
Was it the Saturday game?
Was I sitting there saying we survived the Sir Anthony Dominguez?
Yes.
Yeah. Then it was
okay.
Yeah. It was Dominguez.
Bases loaded.
It was bases loaded. Where like
no, that wasn't Dominguez. That was Soto.
Jesus Christ! All right, whatever. You get what I mean. Oh my God! But it was the entire point that I'm trying to make is like if you get into one of those situations where it's like what the Toyota RAV4 or some bad pitcher is having like a bad thing, like you're gonna get shelled because it's gonna be like back to back to back big hits every single time. Now their pitching not that good. They got one good ace, and I think the Phillies have like some of the best like combo of batters like in the MLB right now. But I mean, that's the only thing that can scare me. It's like if they get streaky, they're gonna win. Like period.
I mean, the biggest thing is was what we saw in the Braves series more the Phillies pitching, or was it
just
more the Braves
being
batting?
ass?
And that
Yeah.
will really decide the series
Mhm.
because we got to be careful. We get bone rushed at home today, and the Diamondbacks start putting up a lot of runs early. We
Exactly.
start getting in trouble. It's not like the Phillies have been hitting particularly well. They hit really well in the game 3 at Philly
Yes,
when they went
yep.
up 8-2. But besides that,
It's been just fine.
they've been batting good enough with the low
Mm-hmm.
run scored. Now, of course, the Braves have a decent pitching staff, so it's
Mhm.
not like
Well, it's
hitting-
really just Strider, but
Freed's good. They also have a good
Oh,
bullpen.
yeah, Fried,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, like you said, they're fine. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna take the Phillies to win it and get back to the not World. Yes.
yeah,
Wow.
World Series.
Shoot.
Yeah, NLDCS.
Yeah.
Yeah, ugh.
That's crazy. Just the World Series we're already there.
We're so bad.
We're halfway through October.
Yeah,
Raj, it's 8 more topper.
8 more Topper. How many more JT? Wait, how many more JC?
8
What?
more.
Because
Jesus.
Topper would say in the locker room, how many more
Oh,
JT?
yeah. I see.
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
Astros, Rangers. I think all of us are taking the Rangers at this
I think-
point.
At this point,
You
they
just
just
gotta
look
play the
good.
numbers.
They just look good. Yeah.
Unless we get a Yordan Alvarez flu game.
Yeah, honestly. But that doesn't.
Yeah,
that's
unless
about
last
happen.
minute change comes through. But you'll obviously hear that next time we're on. So baseball's fun. Baseball's interesting. That's probably the last we're
Well,
gonna talk about.
baseball
That's
postseason is interesting.
it. Baseball postseason, especially when you have resident Phillies fans
Yeah,
and
exactly.
a resident Mets fan that we're friends with who we like to rip on.
Exactly. I'd love ripping on them so much.
Moving on to the NFL, we didn't record last week, so we wanted to break down a few key wins or losses, depending on how you look at it, for last week's game. So I'm going to kick it over to Peter to talk about those.
So for kind of the key games last week, there was a lot of kind of just like boat races and like not really some close games. But some of the important ones where the Bears beat the Commanders 40-20. I have no idea how this happened. We were sitting in Boots, one of our bars, on Thursday night watching this happen, and it was a Justin Fields masterclass and a
you
Commanders.
do not hear many of those.
Yeah, you and you will not hear it this week. But it was an absolute masterclass last week. An absolute disaster class from the Commanders. They just didn't look like they wanted to win at all. I think they just came and they looked cocky. They didn't seem like they were really wanted to. They didn't look like they wanted to win.
Mhm.
Like that's just the way it worked. The Bears, they were popping off. This was where DJ Moore had like 3 touchdowns for
Yeah,
an
this was-
ungodly amount of yards.
It's a crazy DJ Moore game.
Yeah, he's absolutely saved me in fantasy. But that was an awesome game to watch. It showed that Bears fans have some hope, just enough to rip it away from them, which is what happened this week. But moving on from that, one of the toilet bowls of the week, the Jets beat the Broncos on week 5, and that was a Nathaniel Hackett revenge game.
I am so happy about
I'm
that.
so happy. Oh my god.
Nobody.
Sean Payton.
I
Thank
just we've talked about it extensively on the podcast, and we talked about it when the comments happened initially from Sean Payton against Nathaniel Hackett. Just extremely happy it came full circle and bit them in the ass, just because
Mhm.
the Broncos were talking way ahead of schedule. They were hoping their like elite defense came over and that Sean Payton would just fix the offense. Neither happened. The Broncos are terrible, and I'm just happy for the Jets and their organization. I'm not happy for the Jets this week, and we'll get into that. But I'm happy for the Jets last week that they were able to get that win.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
Well, just a little bit behind, like just a little go ahead to be 3-3 for the Jets without Aaron Rodgers.
That's huge,
Huge.
especially the teams they've played.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah. And then kind of last detail is the 49ers beat the Cowboys 42-10. They pantsed them on Sunday Night Football. It was an absolute masterclass.
Exactly
By
what I
Brock
thought would
Purdy.
happen.
And yeah, by Brock Purdy and Chris McCaffrey, and their defense looked incredible. Cowboys, they just looked like completely out of the league. I don't know if it was just because the 49ers came out and just punched them in the mouth or what it was, but it was unreal. It looked like a college team playing against an NFL team. It was crazy.
And Dak Prescott is at 4 out of 10 interceptions on the year, like you
Yeah,
said.
he said he wasn't going to throw 10, and now he's already at 4. So
Yep.
it's not looking. The odds aren't looking very good for him.
Over under 1.5 interceptions tonight against the Chargers.
Under.
I'll give 1.5. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's if you gave it a half, I would go over, but under 1.5.
You know what? 2 over.
2 over.
Give it
I think he's gonna
Give
Give
it
him
to
the,
me.
give him the 6 on the year.
Exactly. Give me a nice big old 6.
Yeah. That's just a game where the Cowboys always like there was this like kind of underneath narrative that they hadn't beaten good teams and they only beaten the really bad teams in the league, but it was like 4-game season, like 4-game season so far. Like what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, like
You can only play the teams you play. But now after losing to the Cardinals and the 49ers, who are better than the Patriots, Jets, and who else do they play?
Oh.
Giants.
Yeah.
you're like, wow, the Cowboys really just beat up on a bunch of bad teams.
Yeah.
Played 2 decent teams because the Cardinals are decent. And
Are you still conspiring that they are a great team that is just tanking on purpose?
well, I was never saying they were a great team.
They're just a solid team.
They're a lot better than people think.
but
They need to lose football games.
okay. I see what you're saying.
Because if they don't lose football games, they're not going to get good players. And if they
Yeah.
don't get good players, then they're never going to actually be that good.
Fair.
I like the Joshua Dobbs show, but listen, he's not the quarterback of your future. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray has been playing Call of Duty every day since his injury.
Dude, Modern Warfare 3 is coming out. He is going to be
Oh,
grinding.
Real quick, we can talk about this because this happened kind of last week. The AJ Dillon playing the farming simulator in the morning.
Oh, that was
it was
so funny.
Twitter's favorite story. So
Yeah.
if you're not familiar
Yeah.
with it, AJ Dillon, running back for the Packers, was up at an ungodly hour.
I think it was 4 a.m.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. Just
Streaming.
playing farming simulator.
Like on Twitch.
And
so it's,
everyone
just
was like,
streaming.
wow, imagine you're like backup running back just playing farming simulator at 4 a.m. on game week.
It was nuts.
It was your starting fantasy running back is up playing farming simulator at 4 a.m.
Yeah, it was.
Just driving a plow and like
yeah, he's literally just like plowing a field and he's just like going through it. And it's just like the most like chill, relaxed stream. But it's like, wait, this is an NFL play. What are you doing up at this hour?
go to bed, bro.
Go to bed. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Anyway, that's last week.
And yeah, so then week 6, finally we're up to speed. So we have Chiefs beat the Broncos, an incredibly ugly game. There's been a lot of ugly games this week.
Yeah.
Not a lot of like, oh, it's a great game. I mean, the Dolphins.
This whole NFL season's been ugly. I'm going to be honest.
The script's
It's-
going crazy right now.
Well, it's been like there's been like 1 or 2 teams every week that has like a really solid win.
Mhm.
Like we were bugging out a little bit that Carolina was going to beat Miami, and then Miami scored like 38 unanswered. But we'll ignore that. But the Chiefs looked really shaky again. And the Broncos defense is bad, or maybe they're finally getting their footing to being good again. I don't know what happened.
It's hard on any given day to determine what the Broncos are because if you look around at the talent, I could be convinced that their defense is
good, yeah.
but sometimes they don't play well. They let up 70 points.
But then they're also on like a fire sale right now where they just traded Randy Gregory to the 49ers,
for nothing.
for nothing, who had a sack this week. And then they just released Frank Clark, and they said, quote, everybody is on the table.
Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, all potential people that could go.
Pat Surtain.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which
Can't
man.
wait for one to go to the Eagles or Niners.
Yes. Also, what just happened in the game?
Jordan Alvarez in second home run of the game. Now 4-5 Rangers.
Got
It's
a
getting
little
close.
spicy.
Getting close.
Top of
Maybe
the eight, or bottom of the eighth.
we
now.
might have to change our predictions on the pod.
Ooh.
Anyway. Yeah, just very ugly game. Still glad the Broncos lost because I hate Sean Payton. He is a cocky asshole, but whatever. Yeah. And then another
I was gonna say it's funny because a lot of his colleagues at Fox, like they used
yeah.
to be working together, so you can kind of all tell they're like trying not to criticize him because they used to work for the company, and I wonder if he has a contract to come
he
back
probably has
when he's
contract.
done. I know they're not trying to criticize him too much, but at a certain point, it's like,
Dude,
there's
this
nothing to
looks
do
bad.
but criticize. Like
Exactly.
he chewed out another head coach, lost to that team, and then their teams, they're 1-5.
1-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's rough. It's rough. They're up in
And they just
in
got a new
Denver.
owner too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. They also lost in front of Taylor Swift, so there's an added bonus to that. Also, this week, I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was in the water. Bad teams are winning. So the Browns beat the 49ers, which I actually have a very strong opinion about the Browns. Very ugly game. The weather was god awful.
Mhm.
I think Debo Samuel went down, Christian McCaffrey went down, and Trent Williams went down for like a little bit, but then he went right back in.
And then shoved a dude.
And then he decleated a dude. Let me make that very clear. There was like a brawl during the game. There was a lot of fights this week, actually. But yeah, that was just a really ugly game out in Cleveland, which no one's surprised there. I mean, Brock Purdy didn't look great. I mean, I think honestly, if the kicker doesn't shank the field goal at the end of the game, I think we got a very different opinion about Brock Purdy's game. And it's like, all right, he had a kind of a bad game, whatever, but he got them in field goal range. They kicked a field goal, won the game. But now it's like, oh my God, Brock Purdy's terrible. He's a fraud. He didn't do anything right. He can't do anything unless there's all pros at every position. Well, it's like, okay, let's chill out here. So I definitely think the 49ers are going to bounce back from this. I think that was just one of those bad wins. And honestly, frankly, I think it's always better for a team like to lose early on, so that way they're not so focused on like the undefeated season and all that. It takes that pressure
Yeah.
off. And also it's like, all right, it keeps you humble. We can lose. We can lose to pretty good teams. We need to stay focused. So I
For-
think
yeah.
in the end, it's going to be good.
Fortunately for the 49ers, it didn't feel like a game where, and we'll get into the Eagles game. I guess it's good or bad. They look like they have a lot of improvements they can make because it looked like it was more schematically,
'Cause-
more talent
yes,
getting to the next
yes.
level. Whereas a team like the Eagles, when we get into it, just turn the ball over a ton.
Exactly. It didn't
And-
look like it was necessarily mistakes on the 49ers. It looked like the Browns just played a really good game.
Yeah, and the 49ers just maybe a little bit flat.
Yeah.
And so that was a big shock, though, because it was like you're watching the game naturally and you're like, 49ers will pull away at some point. They'll pull away this drive. They'll get a touchdown. Oh, they missed the field goal. Okay. Oh, they're not going to actually win. Oh, my God, the Browns
Oh my
are
God,
going to win.
Wait. Yeah, exactly. It was like right up until the end. And then it's like, oh, wait, the Browns are going to win this game.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? Yeah. And then
Without Deshaun Watson.
Without Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson, very true. The $230 million man. He's also incredibly soft for not playing. Want to make that very clear. Because he was completely medically
He has
cleared.
a deep rotator cuff contusion.
So he has a
Bruce.
bruise,
Yes.
a bone bruise, or a bruise of.
Deep rotator cuff contusion. That's what
So he
that's
bruised
what
it.
his camp that's what his camp came out and said.
He bruised his muscle.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Wow, bro.
Bro's got an ouchie.
He's got a boo boo.
Mhm.
And then actually leading into that, so the last undefeated team for about 3 hours was the Eagles.
Horrible.
The Eagles then played the Jets in Jet Life, and oh my God, this was a bad game to watch for Eagles fans.
Yeah.
It was
Um,
a bad game outright.
it was a very ugly game. The Jets defense looks incredible. They didn't have Sauce or I think CJ Reed,
Yeah.
DJ Reed.
DJ Reed.
So they're 1 and 2 corners they didn't have. And they completely shut down the Eagles offense. Mostly because the Eagles just continued to repeatedly shoot themselves in the foot any chance they got.
Mhm.
What was it? 4 turnovers, I
Four
think. It was
turnovers.
3 picks, 1 fumble.
3 kind of picks. I would
Well,
call it
one
more-
was like a
I would
deflection.
call it closer to 2 fumbles, but
Yeah. One was like a technical pick, but it was like the ball got kind of punched out and then like up in the air. But yeah, it was a lot closer to 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, but still. Absolute masterclass by Robert Saleh on how to shut down Jalen Hurts and that offense. And also just some bad offensive moves by the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because like for the Eagles defense, they held the Jets to what was that? 14 points, I think.
Yeah.
They were tied.
yeah, it was 14.
Yeah.
It was 14
And
points.
then it was like basically a pick 6, but
Mhm.
where it was like you got intercepted at the end, and then they kind of
and then
let
the
him
Eagles
in
also let Brees Hall walk into the end zone for time purposes.
just to,
Yeah.
for time purposes.
So
Oh no, it's 14-13, I think.
Mhm.
yes, you're right. I mean the Eagles defense, despite all the injuries, I mean we all know that the Jets offense isn't good, but
Yeah.
the Eagles defense was fine.
You held them to
They
13
did
points.
enough. You held a team at 13 points. You're injured all over the place. So Nakobe Dean's first game back. Slay was out. Jalen Carter was out. Eli Ricks went down in the middle of the game. Like players were dropping left and
Lane
right.
Johnson went down.
Yep. Lane Johnson. Like people were dropping left and right on the Eagles. It wasn't on the defense. It simply, when it comes down to it, was the offense and their mistakes.
Mhm.
Not even schematically am I really that mad about it. It's you have a 1 fumble from the first interception / fumble was Dallas Goedert dropping a ball
Mhm.
and it gets picked
Mhm.
off, and you're like, okay, that's unfortunate.
It's just like a
people drop
stupid
balls.
thing, like whatever. Yeah.
It fell right into Quinnen Williams' hands. Like you can't do anything
Mhm.
about it. Move on. Then DeAndre Swift fumbles, and you're like, okay, well, 2 unlucky things happened to us today.
Well, also, it
I
wasn't
consider,
like a fumble. It was like
It was
he
like
got the
good
ball
play.
punched out. It was like
Yeah.
a real like that dude came in with like a left hook
Yep.
from God and like
And-
punched that
and
ball
most of the
out.
time
It
with
was, like,
fumbles,
great.
unless it's a repeated issue with my players, I'm usually like,
Yeah.
you know what? You just give it to the defense, or you made a mistake, you move on. So I was like, 2 unfortunate things happen. Don't worry about it. Then Jalen Hurts threw 2 bad interceptions.
like
Yeah.
bad
They
interception.
were-
And
not
that's
good.
when I was like, this is really, really, really bad. Because before, like at halftime, I remember the broadcast was like, the Jets must be thrilled to be in this game right now. And they were down by 5. And I was like, that is a ludicrous statement. Like the Jets are not in this game at all. They're down 14-9, and they're not down 9-14. And the Eagles have turned the ball over twice deep into the zone. Like they're not even in the same stratosphere as the Eagles right now. And they still weren't the entire game. Not at one point in that game did you doubt who the best team was on the field.
No.
It was just the Eagles kept repeatedly throwing it, like turning the ball over, throwing the game away. And even at the end, you have a chance. You throw a jump ball down to
Devontae
Devontae
Smith.
Smith. I'm so tired. Devontae
On
Smith.
4th down and
4th
8
down, with time left, chuck down a really far pass. Like
into
least-
double coverage.
I don't care what it is. Like run around your behind the line of scrimmage, trying to make something happen, something a little bit
You're
better.
Jalen Hurts. Figure it
Yeah.
out.
Like make something a little bit better than a big like 50, 60 yards, 60 yard completions are really improbable in the NFL, regardless of who's catching the ball,
Yeah.
regardless
Yeah.
of time or situation.
Yeah, it was just a very ugly game. What did you think?
I don't know. Like just watching, I was sitting there like, okay, the missed deep ball to AJ Brown because he stopped running. Cool. They'll fix that.
Mhm.
And I just, as I was sitting there, I was like not even paying attention because I'm like, okay, you know what? It's just an ugly game. We'll fix it eventually.
Mhm.
Then when there was 5 minutes left, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like when I saw Hurts throw that really bad interception on third and whatever it was. What was it? It was whatever that play was to get to the field goal marker.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, what did he see there that was possible? Like, I don't understand. Maybe he got undercut or something.
Yeah.
Like, you could see the guy right there. And I don't know why Hurts is trying to force the ball. Like, what made him good last season was his ability to scramble out the pocket
And make good decisions.
and make a decision.
Yeah.
And he made those really good decisions last season where if he saw Devontae Smith or AJ Brown open on the sideline,
Mhm.
he'll whip it and get it to them.
Because it wasn't always like a bomb necessarily,
Yeah.
but it was just like you got out of that situation.
Or he would simply just scramble, get out of bounds, and survive
Like,
another
get some
down.
yards.
Simply put, he doesn't look comfortable at all this year.
I don't
He
know what's
hasn't
going
been
on.
He hasn't looked good all year, and I was kind of like, it is what it is. And we had talked about it on the podcast about how I was like, I'm not really sure he is like an MVP of the league type player. That might have been a little bit flash in the pan, but he can still be top 8 quarterback and will still be fine
Mhm.
for the year. But he's just not playing well. He doesn't look comfortable in the offense. It's not for lack of weapons, not for lack of offensive line or running game, unless you want to call it play calling. But Brian Johnson's Jalen Hurts' guy. Like I don't think
Yeah.
it's good. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to complain about the OC. And I mean, if it is the OC, figure it out. But it is really strange.
Just a weird ass game.
Mhm.
Really, really weird.
I mean, I don't really feel much discouraged from the Eagles' point of view because I'm like, unless the team's going to turn us over 4 times again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad we lost this game. We should not win a football game by turning the ball over 4 times. I think, like, being optimistic, this is probably one of the better things to happen to us. I mean, yeah, we lost to the Jets, but it's like, it's kind of a wake up call for the entire team. Like, the last 5 games we played, they were ugly wins, like all of them. Like, I don't think one of those games, besides the Vikings, but even they almost came back on us. But
I mean, the problem with the loss is, and a lot of people have been, this is not like a breaking news type of thing. The next 6 games for the Eagles are Dolphins at home, which is going to be a tough game. Commanders on the road, which I don't care what anyone says, it's a division game on the road.
yeah,
Cowboys at home, Chiefs on the road, Bills at home, 49ers at home.
mm-hmm.
That is a brutal next 6 games. So
Yeah.
you're looking hopefully to go 4-2, 3-3. So you're going to lose football games, and
Mhm.
that was one you really want to have back.
You needed that cushion.
Because
Yeah.
especially if you lose to the Cowboys when you play them soon, and then you start losing these other games, you're going to lose a division lead. So this was a
Mhm.
game where it was like, I would have rather had this horrible game against the Dolphins, just got blown out
Mhm.
and moved on, whereas we had a really winnable game that we lost. Like that was a W on the schedule
Mm-hmm.
that we didn't have before.
Yeah.
But
And it's the same thing with the Cowboys. They lost to the Cardinals, a game that they definitely shouldn't have lost. So it's like,
I'm not sure the Cowboys are actually that good.
well, I'm not jinxing anything.
The NFC Beast is no longer the NFC Beast.
Eh.
Back to the NFC least.
It was a great one season.
It was a great one season where we were all kind of good. All right. And then kind of the final game that was like of really big note this past week was the Bills beat the Giants 14-9.
14-9.
And I am not going to lie, probably one of the worst football games I've watched in a while. Like that was disgusting
Yeah.
from top to bottom, because I know I always joke about how like, oh, neither team wants to win, blah, 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 whatever. No one wanted to win this game. No, absolutely nobody wanted to win this game besides like Bobby Okereke on the Giants and like sometimes Josh Allen. Like that was it. Those were the only people that wanted to win. It was unreal how bad this game was. And also just wanted to give a quick update on Damian Harris, the Bills running back that went down during the game. Very scary scene that was terrifyingly reminiscent of Damar Hamlin. He is totally okay. He went in for a neck injury, I believe. So that's why it seemed like it was much worse than it was, but they were just taking a lot of precautions. He had full feeling in all of his extremities and everything. He's already out of the hospital. He said he's in good spirits, and I believe he's in concussion protocol right now.
Okay.
And he's in there. They listed it as like a neck sprain. So I think the big thing was he had a lot of like neck pain in the back of his neck, obviously, and they were like, okay, we're not playing any games with this. We need to make sure this is all right. But he seems like he's totally fine.
I know some people are talking about the league. The Bills got to get rid of that DeMar Hamlin ambulance. That's I know what you're trying to do with the awareness of his situation and all, and like there's a lot of great things there's a lot of great things they've done. They did a whole entire training the student athletes here at how to use AEDs and CPR
awesome.
through DeMar Hamlin, but to bring out a ambulance to remind you of the time that DeMar Hamlin went to cardiac arrest on a football field is just not.
That's not the time.
I don't know.
I get the Bills ambulance, like yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But the jerseys in the back, that's just, and also it wasn't them.
Yeah,
it was the Cincinnati people that did that.
I
didn't understand that.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to promote. Like, I understand the gesture, and I'm not trying to like. I wouldn't say that anyone needs to be like fired or lose their job.
No,
but like,
God no.
Let's just realize how that plays out on TV.
It doesn't look good.
Especially you're never bringing an ambulance out onto the field for
any good reason.
Reason.
Like, oh, remember that time this guy died on the field and we saved him? It's like, yeah, let's not think about that actually.
Yeah, it's just I saw the pictures of that. I wasn't watching the game and I was like, yeah, okay. I did, however, see when the Giants were up like 3-0, like in the middle of the second, and I was just like, what's going on?
Oh, don't worry, 6-0.
6-0. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Tyrod Taylor made the biggest brain move to audible into a run with 12 seconds on the clock on the 1-yard line. Ran the ball. The Bills stopped them immediately, and then they didn't have any timeouts. So then they went into half without any points, and Dable looked like he wanted to rip his head off.
Amazing clock management.
Amazing.
On this game's note, did you see the bozo on Twitter who was saying stuff about Daniel Jones?
What was he saying?
Some MD on Twitter was tweeting about how like Daniel Jones should never play another NFL snap again. He has like cervical instability and
according to who?
Himself apparently. Cervical instability, needs a fusion to his neck and he'll never be able to play again with his vertebrae fused like that. And someone was like, where are you getting your information from? Like the video?
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
It was absolutely ludicrous. Like blew up and everything. It was like, oh my God, they just gave Daniel Jones all this money and he can't play anymore. It was like,
what?
That's not his doctor.
It's like bro casually just violated HIPAA on Twitter.
Yeah, like dude is an MD.
Yeah, it's like it's either two options. One, he violated HIPAA and is about to get his license removed, or two, he has no idea what he's talking about.
I just saw
that's insane.
I just saw because I mean a lot of people know Brian Suter who does the breakdowns usually
so medical stuff,
quick. Yeah, when injuries happen, and he tweeted when he quote tweeted it, I saw it and I was like, he was like, "What's this bozo doing?" And I was
what are you talking about? Yeah.
Just a super strange situation.
Very
but
strange.
Hopefully Daniel Jones gets well soon for his own sake.
Yeah, but
as an Eagles fan, I really could care less, but I just don't want him to be hurt.
As an NFL fan, as a person, you would love him to get well, but as an Eagles fan,
as a future doctor,
exactly.
I would love my patients
to all be perfect.
Get better.
Yes.
But as an Eagles fan,
you can take it or leave it.
Yeah, it doesn't affect me too much.
Exactly. But yeah, basically, long story short, really awful game. No one wanted to win. Tyrod Taylor decided to do the 2-minute drill at the end of the game, marched all the way down the field, and the refs blew a call. But I'm not going to blame the refs for this game at all, considering the Giants were absolutely terrible the entire game.
Also, it's like better for you if the Giants are bad.
Because my whole thing is like it's better, but it's also like losing in that way just really sucks. Because it's like everybody knows that was a hold. Everybody knows that they should have gotten at least one more shot. Which
someone tweeted that he was being held longer than
Aaron Rodgers' season.
That was hilarious.
That was insane. That was utterly insane. But yeah, that's where it's like a lot of Giants fans are like, oh no. I've actually seen a lot more response from people that aren't Giants fans, like being more mad about the non-PI call because they're like, oh, it's the script. They want the Bills to be good. And Giants fans are like, we know it. Like I knew it from the beginning that they weren't going to win this game, and everybody was like, no, look, they're about to score. And I'm like, I've seen too many Giants games to know that this is going to go horribly, and it did.
The worst feeling in sports is when you don't think you're going to win a game, then you have a chance, and then you lose because you're stuck in this limbo of like, I didn't expect us to win,
but we got really close.
But this was me after game 2 of the Phillies game. Where I was like, we were up 1-0. I didn't think we were going to get 2 in Atlanta, but then we were up and just blew the game last on an Austin Riley home run. So I was like, hold on. I was expecting it to be 1-1. It is 1-1. I shouldn't be mad, but I just spent the whole time watching this game. We almost went up 2-0, and now it's like, It's the most frustrating feeling in the
No, it
world.
really is, because I knew from the beginning that the Giants were going to win this game, and I was right.
But you wish you weren't.
I
Right?
really wish I wasn't,
Hey,
because
the first
wait,
half
you're
money
not-
line was free.
You're not a Giants fan.
oh no, right,
Yeah.
I'm a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
I will say, if Darren Waller catches that pass one-handed with the dude draped over him to win the game,
I thought he
Buffalo,
almost had that.
Rip the form.
that is catch of the year. That is
Yeah.
insane.
He almost had it too. It was like right
literally-
here.
Well, yeah, because the dude's like literally dragging him
Mm.
down. So it's like if he manages to palm that 2 feet in with a dude on him with like an and one
Oh
to
my
win the game,
God.
that needs to be the NFL logo.
That would have been incredibly tough.
That would have
That's the
been
next Madden cover. Right
that would have
there.
been the next Madden cover. That would have been insane. But anyway, yeah. So that's the horrible Giants game. Other week 6 storylines. So CJ Stroud is still good at football.
Yes.
No one's surprised.
Just
Go.
I'm happy for him because
Very happy.
everything with the test, like the intelligence test that they had, or the processing test that they had to take earlier in the year, like that was a low score. Everyone's like, I don't know about
His
that.
QBR is higher than his
Yeah,
test rating.
no one's done that before. He didn't take many risks in college, and people wondered how dynamic he is. And he's been by far like
Far and away.
he might be a top 12, top 14
Yeah.
quarterback in the
Yeah.
league outright this year so far, not including rookies. And some of the other rookies have looked very questionable.
Mm.
So-
Bryce Young.
For strong. So very happy for CJ Stroud. Also, the whole Texans organization, like they got it going over there right now.
They do.
3-3. D'Amico Ryans has those guys playing really well.
Yeah.
Young players all over the place.
When-
And to be 3-3 in their situation,
Yeah.
and they don't have their draft pick because
They traded to get Will Anderson.
they
which,
traded to get Will Anderson, which is looking great because they're playing really well right now. So
Yeah.
they're building a good culture. They don't
Yeah.
have their picks. So it's not like they're missing out on getting a stud
Yeah, exactly.
because they're playing well. So, I mean, kudos to the Texans. Really, like flip
Yeah.
this thing around real quick after Deshaun Watson leaves.
Yeah, that was I'm so happy for the Texans right now, because you're right. It's a very young team. Like, and you got like players breaking out left and right. Like Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Who would have thought he would?
Who heard of him?
Tank
Yeah.
Dell.
Yeah, Tank Dell, also
He-
great.
Damian Pierce still like
Yeah.
people
Still
knew
pretty
about him,
solid,
but still
yeah.
like really good running back. Robert Woods kind of came out of the nowhere
Yeah, he's
recently.
still
been playing
coming
really
back
well.
again, because
You have Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz. Is
Dalton
he's-
Schultz has been
Solid
he's,
tight end.
He's
He's been
CJ's
really solid.
favorite target.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's like a very reliable veteran tight end. Their defense, they got a lot of young players flying
Mm-hmm.
around out there. Will Anderson still looks like a game wrecker, not up to the level of like a true superstar yet.
How's Stingley been playing? I haven't really got.
Stingley's been all right. I think he's been like hurt like a decent amount. Whatever.
Yeah.
He's been okay. He hasn't really played up to his like potential of being up there with like a Sauce Gardner or like even like a JC Horn or something like that. But he's been solid. I think he's still got plenty of potential to be a great corner in the NFL. Because he's like 23. Like oh no, he's got so little time
It's
to get
over.
ready. Yeah, it's over. No, I'm not giving up on Derek Stingley yet. Because as our friend Jacob pointed out, he's got some of the best footwork and like true technique as a corner like I've ever seen. Like it's immaculate what he's able to do. So I still got faith that he'll be able to figure
It's
that out.
helpful to have a good culture around him because last year he was in
Yeah.
a not so great culture. So then this year to have a positive culture to
Yeah.
really like.
And also D'Amico Ryans is a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Like he'll be able to figure it out. Yeah.
Also, just really incredible at CJ Stroud with a lack of weapons. I don't want to say like a lack of weapons, but like not great, like not high end weapons.
Yeah.
No OC as like his head coach
Mhm.
is able to do this. And across the league, like if you look at someone like Bryce Young, I would say Bryce Young, like Adam Thielen's better than anybody on the Texans.
Any receiver?
Any
yeah, I'd
receiver,
say
yeah.
Adam Thielen's definitely a better number one.
Yeah. And then he's also got Frank Reich as offensive coordinator. They just got Miles
Significantly
Sanders, for
better.
running back,
Yeah,
who was really
yeah.
good last year. I know the offensive lines are hard to tell, but I mean Bryce Young's in as good or better of a situation potentially than
Yeah, because like
CJ Stroud.
like they got the rookie Mingo from Ole Miss.
Yep.
He should be solid. There's like another guy that's DJ Chark. I think.
Yeah, Chark's on the team
Chark's on
still.
the yeah. So he should also be good, but they're just not playing as well.
Because their quarterback isn't playing well. It's just CJ Stroud's the better quarterback, and he's really
He
showing
is.
up right
Bryce
really
Young
is.
can't see over the O
now.
line.
He might beat the
Yeah.
Ohio State QB allegations
He might
Might.
finally break it.
because Justin Fields certainly ain't doing
Yeah,
it. I mean,
no.
that guy is.
He's in hell.
I mean, he had these 2 weeks where you thought
Oh, maybe he's gonna
maybe
be good.
he's good. He had that really good Commanders game. He had that really good
Yeah.
first half when they played the Broncos. But dude, this week was just not. I mean, that was the Vikings defense, and they put up 6 points,
13, I think.
13. Okay, maybe they got a touchdown in there.
They had a chance to, win the game or tie it or whatever in the end, and Bryce Young absolutely
13. Yeah.
died.
It was a real barn burner at first, where it was 6-3 going
Yeah.
into like
Yeah.
half or something like that. I think they both scored touchdowns like right at the end of the game.
I think what
Yeah.
I've seen from Justin Fields the last couple of weeks, just the roller coaster ride. I'd absolutely move on from him
Mhm.
if you can get Drake May or Caleb Williams.
You get
at
rid
all.
of Eberflus. You kind of move on from Fields if you can manage to draft a better QB.
You could trade him somewhere.
Yeah.
I would know as a Bears fan or as a Bears organization that if maybe he's not a quarterback this year, the whole plan is to get a new quarterback because
Yeah.
I just simply do not think he's good enough.
You know where would be a good place to send Justin Fields? New
Guangdong.
England, because Mac
Oh.
Jones is terrible.
Oh, good
Oh.
segue.
Look at that. Yeah, Mac Jones is awful. Did he get benched during this game, I think?
I don't remember.
I don't remember he got
I
benched
don't
this
think
game,
so because
but
I think people would have made a big deal.
yeah, but like it has been like put out there that he's on a very short leash. That he just
He got benched for one play. Oh, no,
Um,
Malik Cunningham never saw the field. Never mind.
okay, never mind. But yeah. So Mac Jones bad.
Yeah.
End of story.
I feel
Don't you dare say you feel bad for him. Don't you dare. Don't
No,
you dare.
no, no,
Don't you dare.
no.
Don't you dare.
I am just gonna say I do not know how to evaluate the Patriots offense because
Non-existent.
like the whole entire offense because the offensive line is not good.
Nope.
The receivers are not good.
Nope.
The tight ends are actually kind of good.
Those are good.
That's it. That's all they have.
And the quarterback is, I know he's not good, but I'm not really sure what he has to work with. Like I don't think Mac Jones is the answer. Like whatever you do, like the Patriots suck. So if you have a chance to get like one of the guys, like go get the guys.
Mhm.
But
Dare I say Drake May?
Yeah,
Shadur Sanders, Tom
Shadur-
Brady's understudy.
Oh my
Going to the
god.
Patriots.
Unbelievable.
Tom Brady comes back. He's the OC.
He's the
for-
OC.
Oh
Oh
my
my god.
He recruits Prime to be
He recruits
DC.
Prime. Oh my
Oh,
god. He gets
no.
poached immediately. Yeah. I mean, like obviously we played up that Mac Jones is like really bad. But yeah, you're right.
But he
Like,
is also bad.
he's
But he's
bad.
not a starting quarterback.
He's bad. We meme that he's worse than he is, but the team also is just really bad around him, so it makes him look worse.
Yeah.
Um,
There's just honestly like a lot of quarterbacks in the league right now who just are
are
not
bad
good.
situations.
I think we talked about it maybe last time. Just there's a lot of quarterbacks who just aren't good enough, like
Yeah.
to win games and to be
Yeah.
factors on teams. I mean, that's just simply how it is.
Yeah, that's
And Mac Jones is one of them. So maybe he has flashes. Same with Justin Fields. Like
Mhm.
he's just not going to win you a Super Bowl.
no, he's not.
He's not going to win you 4 games in the playoffs.
Nope.
Same thing with Mac Jones. So wonder what they'll do. It's always like it's just kind of like the whole Patriots charade is they're not really good, and you're constantly worrying about or wondering what they're going to do with their quarterback, and that's just not a good situation to be in.
Yeah,
At least with the Bears, you're like, all right, Justin Fields is playing every single game the rest of the season.
yeah.
Mac Jones, like every time Bill Belichick gets talked to, it's like, oh, who's gonna
Who's gonna replace him?
replace
bench
him or who's
Yeah.
playing him instead? So it's always like I don't like the ring around the rosy. Just say he's your guy for the entire year
Make a
and
decision.
then go from there.
Make a decision. Two other, I guess, a couple other things. Like Dolphins are back. No one was really surprised. They kind of bounced back game against the Panthers. We were really worried when they were down 14-0, and then they just were like, "Oh yeah, we need to play football," and then they just scored every single point after that, and then didn't look back.
I love that it was 14-0, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna put so much money on the Dolphins to come back and win the game. And the Dolphins are still favored to win the game. And I said, there's no point.
There's no point in me
There's
putting
no
money
point
on
in putting money on this game
Yeah.
because I was like, I still don't like minus money. I don't like putting money on
Yeah,
them. But I was like, I'm
exactly.
certainly not putting money on the Panthers.
Mhm.
So but it was just funny to see 14-0 with not like a ton of time left in the first quarter, and it'd be like, yep, the Dolphins are still favored. They did
Yeah, they're
exactly what you
still-
thought they would do, and
Yeah.
they just
Steamrolled them, and then
did
just
Carolina score again?
I don't think so. Let's do a quick old.
Oh, that
checker.
is college football.
They scored one other time. So think about this. They were up 14-0 in the first quarter. They lost 42-21. They gave up 28 unanswered.
That's just how you lose football games,
Yeah.
folks.
Damn, bad day for Miami teams.
Yeah.
UNC murdered them too.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
Well,
but
actually, they gave up, I believe, at minimum 28 unanswered. Let me check the actual play-by-play. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But whatever. You know
The
you
point
know,
stands.
Yeah, the point stands. Also, Cooper Kupp's back.
Yeah.
Very good to have him like actually back playing very well.
we
Puka
lost
Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
Puka
Yeah.
We
Nacua
got Cooper Cup back at what cost?
at what cost? We lost the Puka Nacua Linsanity run. But yeah, I think Puka Nacua now is back into being the number 2 or 3 receiver on that
Yeah.
team, and he's not going to get nowhere near the amount of looks that Cooper Kupp is getting.
Yeah. As soon as he came back, you could just see Matt Stafford's eyes just constantly going back over to Cup with good reason, but you were just
Yeah.
like, oh, Puka, you're good. You're old news, champ.
Damn it, Puka! He
Puka,
was so good.
you're just a rebound, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was a rebound. Oh my God, he was a rebound. And then
The Rams sneaky good.
Rams are sneaky good.
Wild card spot.
Maybe.
potentially.
Speaking of wild card, you never know. They could be frisky.
Look,
And
when we
then,
talk about the Bengals Seahawks game,
yeah, it was kind of
very bad
I don't
game,
know
but
what
also
happened.
like
exactly.
Yeah.
crucial for the standings.
Yes, no, very important for both of them, but just a bad game.
Yeah.
Here we go. Jose Altuve, one out left.
Jose Altuve, bottom of the ninth, 2
I mean, I'm rooting for the Astros because I want the series to go longer.
Yeah, so that way they're
Um,
retired. Whatever.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, Bengals beat the Seahawks, which is huge for the Bengals to get to 3-3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like absolutely massive. I mean,
Yeah.
can't understate that division with how junked up everything is right
Yeah.
now. And the Seahawks 3-2. I mean, Seahawks are a good football team, but I just don't like.
They're like,
I don't know what it is, but it's just I don't trust them. Their offensive line is horrible.
Yeah, because like Charles Cross was good last year. He was like their rookie tackle, but he hasn't been playing as well recently. I mean, like obviously you have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett.
Dude, DK was having a weird.
Yeah.
He was throwing fits all.
He was
over the
fighting
field.
people on the
I-
field.
Well, DK does that every once in a while.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
he'll just go and fight people.
Yeah, but he's like short circuit or something. Like what?
I don't know what's wrong with him. And also, it was like
Too
the
much muscle.
The corner, like, yeah, we got to get off of roids. Because there was the one that like the corner was like just kind of standing there, like walking away from him,
Yeah.
and then he like tried to shove him, and then the corner like didn't do anything, and
Yeah.
then he just like punched him in the face. And it's like, why? Like, what's the
But
point?
he'd run down the field and like they wouldn't throw the ball and like throw a fit on the field. I was just like, what's going on here? Like
I don't know.
your team was
It's very weird.
3-1. I mean, and obviously a frustrating game. You put up 13 points against the Bengals, which is anything to write home about. But weird game. Just I mean, that's gonna be so crucial for both teams. Like this game right here is gonna be a huge game.
Altuve hit the
Nope.
trash cans. No, never mind. All right,
Rangers up 2-0.
Rangers up 2-0.
Oh,
they
I'm
hit an
serious.
absolute nuke to the outfield.
Yep.
Nice. One of the fun things about baseball is so off topic is that if you're the home team, if you're in the stadium or TV, you always think that ball, if it looks like
Gone.
it got hit
Mhm.
relatively hard, is out of the park, and
Yeah,
you'll
then you're
know
like-
the pitcher is non-concerned at all about it because they know where that ball got hit.
Yeah.
Same thing with the catchers and the rest of the team. But the whole entire like stadium's like, "Oh,"
And it's like, oh,
a pop fly that
Yeah.
I mean, when pop flies can go deep, but they never actually had a chance to go over if you hit them up too high. Like, even if it goes out 360 feet in center field, it might look like the center field is going back far, but that ball had never a chance of going out because it wasn't.
it was always
because it's
coming
too much of a steep like down
down angle. Yeah,
on it. So, but it's always funny because it would be like that's certainly out. Because even when in the Phillies game where
Harper.
no
Um,
Acuna hit that ball out.
Oh,
and
I
Rojas
thought
got
that thing
catch.
was gone.
Like, I thought it was gone too because I was, of course, being a cynical fan. But like when I went back and watched it on replay, I was like,
That was
that ball
nowhere.
never looked like it was going out.
No, yeah,
Like,
Also, Rojas kind of took the worst path ever to catch that.
yeah, he made that way more.
but he made a
difficult
highlight
too.
reel, so it's fine.
Whatever.
but yeah, that's just a fun. When when I was at a Pirates game, every time the ball got
Oh,
hit remotely hard, everyone was like, "Yes!" And it was like, "No, it's 50 feet."
It was like
off
a
the
it
wall.
was like a line drive to the outfield. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, whatever. But yeah, also just lots of injuries in the NFL.
Yeah.
Kind of bouncing
I
back.
hate to see it.
Just lots of injuries all over the place. You do hate to see it. The Giants injury report, by the way, if you want to laugh, just look that one up. You had to scroll through it. Their entire offensive line was basically out. They had a dude, so Justin Pugh, who was a longtime
Yeah, I
Giants,
heard his introduction.
longtime Giants guy. He was a guard for them for a while. Then he was at the Cardinals for a little bit, and then he got hurt. The Giants signed him to the practice squad last week. They then told him, "Okay, you're going to play left guard," and he's like, "Okay, cool." So he's been practicing for a week. He's going to play left guard, and then they're like, "Okay, well, one of our right tackle is like kind of like he may or may not play. We might also have you working at right tackle." And he's like, "Okay, cool." Game goes on. Like 3 plays in, left tackle goes down. Mind you, this is the 3rd string left tackle that goes down. And they're like, "Hey, you play left tackle?" And he's like, "Well, I've only played 5 snaps of left tackle in the past 7 years. Yeah, I could do it."
Yeah. Did you hear his introduction? Like it was like
Straight off the couch.
Yeah, straight off the couch.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. There's been so many injuries, and
Yeah, it's been bad.
I mean, some of it's going to come back to the turf. There's been a big discussion right now about the turf in the NFL. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, all the reason for all these injuries is not turf. I can promise
It's
you
not
that.
just turf, but
But
turf definitely doesn't help.
yeah, turf definitely doesn't help. I'll just be curious to see what happens with all the injuries. The Eagles are really banged up right now.
Mhm.
I feel like they rested some of their I feel like Slay and Carter would have been good to go, but they were like, "Oh, it's a Jets,
just like a
let's not
rest
worry
game,
about it."
Yeah.
And then they lost, so
They're
that
like,
worked out really well. And then we got more injured. So
It's like,
Yeah.
duh.
again, at what
Yeah.
cost?
That MetLife turf, man. It's
Ugh.
it's like running on concrete. But yeah, I think. I mean, well, honestly, I think all NFL stadiums pretty much are going to switch over to grass because of the World Cup coming soon. Because they see a lot of money. They're like, oh yeah, we'll do that.
So MetLife is in the running for the World Cup final.
Yeah, I did see that, which is
New Jersey on top.
genuinely hilarious that we have like the European mind cannot comprehend the parking lot that is MetLife Stadium. Like it is a gigantic air conditioner in the shadows of New York City with the largest parking lot you've ever seen. And it's going to be so funny to try to like watch Europeans try to tailgate, and it's going to be so entertaining.
You have entered East Rutherford, New Jersey.
And for fun facts,
There's
actually,
people who have never been in the United States who are going to East Rutherford, New Jersey for their
for the World Cup final.
Yeah.
So this is what the United States is like.
They went from Qatar to New Jersey. To East Rutherford.
North Jersey.
Yeah. Also, fun fact: I did my EMT class across the river at whatever that hospital is there, and my EMT teacher was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, if I ever go down in the middle of class, don't take me to the hospital downstairs. Please take me somewhere else."
That's so brutal.
He's like, "Don't take me down here.
Please don't do it.
Please don't do it." Yeah. And so to kind of wrap up Week 6, we got Cowboys Chargers, and actually about like maybe 15-20 minutes.
Kellen Moore revenge game.
It's a Kellen Moore revenge game. What are our thoughts? Cowboys or Chargers or tie?
So
listen, ties on the table.
It's always on the table.
Oh my God. I mean, for me, it's like I mean, if Nathan, not do Staley. What's his name? Brandon Staley.
Brandon
Staley. Too many.
Spawn.
I was going to say you were going to say Deuce Staley. That was a crazy one.
But Brandon Staley, yeah. If he coaches well, Chargers have this.
Oh yeah.
Kellen Moore's gonna carry the offense. He always does. If Brandon Staley does Brandon Staley type behaviors, they're gonna lose to the Cowboys. But the Cowboys also have looked really shaky too against good defenses.
So
could go.
Yeah, but
either
are the
way.
Chargers a good defense?
well, Khalil Mack just came off a 6-sack game
Yeah.
and had a bye week to rest. So he might be coming in at full
True.
strength.
Mhm.
And if Dak Prescott sees Khalil Mack coming off the edge and with the fire in his eyes, that might be a little bit bad.
Dude, imagine if the Cowboys were 3-3. Oh my God.
I'd
That'd
so
be
happy.
amazing.
As a 49ers fan, I'd be so happy.
Also, I know this is not like a unpopular pick. I mean, if you look at the line, it's 1.5. Money
it's
lines
going
are
to be
really
a close
close.
game.
I think the Chargers are going to win. They're at home. They're coming off a bye. I know. But
Well, I guess more for the team. It's
Yeah.
not like a fan base like support. It's more of like they don't have to travel.
Yeah. they don't have to travel. They're at home. Austin Eckler's back. They had a bye week,
Oh right, Austin.
Oh.
Eckler.
and I just don't.
Chargers have this.
And I just don't think the Cowboys are that good.
Yeah.
Like this would be by far their biggest win of the entire season, heads and shoulders above.
Yeah,
and-
definitely.
I think Justin Herbert will play well in prime time. And yeah, take the
Sweet.
Chargers.
All right.
That'll be a huge win for them too, because they need all the help in the
Oh my
standings.
God!
they can get.
Speaking of the game, Austin Eckler's helmet knocked off as Chargers Cowboys throw hands in warm up.
Oh, sick.
Let's go! The Chargers are winning. This is
Oh yeah,
personal.
I also forgot to mention that there was a huge fight in the Bills Giants game.
Oh yeah.
That Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams were just throwing people. Kayvon Thibodeau was giving us our best look of a jiu-jitsu defense. It literally looked like an MMA fight.
Yeah.
I have no idea what was happening.
Diggs tried to fight Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah,
at some
Diggs
point.
tried to fight Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence didn't even move. Josh Allen tries to run full speed into Bobby Okereke, a linebacker, who just hugs him and then pulls him away from the melee immediately, knowing if anybody were to hit him, the benches would clear and they
Yeah.
would all die. So he was like, please, we are getting out of here. And yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah,
Because it was also hilarious. I
I
was
didn't
like,
see it at all.
no, my God. It was like,
It was really funny
because it was like one of the tackles in Kayvon Thibodeau were like kind of like beefing whatever. They kind of like throw themselves onto a pile. The dude was kind of like pushing at Kayvon Thibodeau, whatever. And then Dexter Lawrence comes flying in, this big body, just knocks this dude like 5 feet away. It's a whole melee. And then it just like cuts back and like it shows what Thibodeau and that tackler are still up to. And like Thibodeau's on his back, like doing the full like little brother, like legs kicking, like trying to get him to stop trying to punch him. And the dude's still trying to like grab his leg and stuff. It was like, what is this game? So yeah, only furthers my point that was the worst game I've ever seen.
Time for some power rankings.
yeah.
Time for some power rankings.
All
Oh yeah,
right.
also Pitt football won.
Yeah, shout out Pitt football.
Shout out Pitt
You know,
football.
always
Christian Bayer,
beats
thank
that
you.
one ranked opponent every year to make you
Every
think
year,
that we're good.
this is a classic one. Also, I definitely got pneumonia from this game, but whatever. Moving on. Justin, what are your power rankings?
Do you not wear a coat in the cold?
No, I took my shirt off for good luck at one point.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I definitely have no idea. Anyway, Justin, what are your power rankings?
First things first, I want to say I don't have any idea what to do with the power rankings right now. Teams that are kind of good are not either playing well or they have recent losses, but also there's teams who there's not really that many teams who are just like winning games, and if they are winning games, like we know they're not like we know the Texans aren't a top 5 football team, even though they're winning games. So I'm gonna keep the 49ers at number 1. I think the Browns are a decent team, and I know Peter thinks so as well. I think the Browns are a decent team, probably like border top 10. So I don't think it's a shameful loss. I'm going to put the Chiefs at 2. You get credit for winning winning games. The Chiefs only lost to the Lions in week 1. Lions are good, and it was week 1. Dolphins at 3. They only had the one blemish, but they also got killed by the Bills. So I'm going to say that they're at 3 right now. For the Eagles, again, same situation. Like, do I believe that they're going to ever turn the ball over 4 times again the rest of the season? Probably not. So it keeps them there. And then 5, I don't want to do it because I don't really believe in them, but it's the Lions. Lions are really, really good. They are that team that's been winning football games consistently. They look good. They haven't had any bad losses or anything. So I got to give credit where credit's due. If the Chargers win tonight, I could start to see them climbing up into there. The Bills are off because they played a horrible game in MetLife, Was it in MetLife?
Yeah. No, it was.
What?
It was
in Buffalo. Yeah, they played a horrible.
Oh no, yeah.
Horrible. Yeah, I was looking that way. Played a horrible game in Buffalo, and then they got beaten by the Jags pretty handedly in London.
Yeah.
So the Bills are not looking great right now. So that's where I'll go: 49ers, Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles, Lions.
Yeah, I think right now Dolphins are like obviously I'm not saying like I don't think the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl. I still think the 49ers are a better team, but right now the Dolphins look like a better team just based off this past week because of how like out of sorts the 49ers looked and because of their like big bounce back. I think next week the 49ers easily can bounce back and show that they're the best team in the league again. But I think right now the Dolphins do look better just generally on offense. And the defense is solid enough that they could probably keep up. Because if you're going to go into a shootout with the Dolphins, they're going to win. Like, I'm sorry, they're just going to. They have way too much speed. That's why the Dolphins at 1, the 49ers at 2. Chiefs at 3, again. I have Chiefs and then Eagles, just because, like, again, they both kind of look shaky. They both look like they're still on a Super Bowl hangover, even though it's week 6 of the next season.
Someone didn't tell them.
Someone didn't tell them that they need to start playing good to actually make the playoffs. Even though their divisions aren't that good, they still need to, win them.
Yep.
Because they both they will figure it out. The Chiefs and Eagles kind of have like similar problems where they look a little bit shaky on offense and defense, whatever. But I think the Chiefs are just a little bit more consistent right now. But I think they both look very similar.
The Chiefs defense looks good regardless. Like no questions asked. The Eagles defense still looks a little bit shaky. And both offenses look shaky.
Exactly. So it's just the Chiefs defense is a little more consistent. The Chiefs offense, because they have Travis Kelce, who's always going to be good, is just like he's like a safety valve for Patrick Mahomes. And, I'm not getting bad against Andy Reid not being able to figure out an offense. And also, now that I'm looking at the Browns' schedule and who they played, I think I'm going to actually put the Lions at 5 too.
Okay.
Just because, like, now that I'm really looking at this and diving deep into it, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's a great win. I do think the Browns have a lot of potential. I think they're like just out of the top 5. But like the way the Lions look, it's just like they're just winning games and they're winning games well. And they are a young team, they're a hungry team, and Dan Campbell's got them biting kneecaps. And I think
here's the question: if the Browns had Jared Goff, would the Browns be better than the Lions? Okay,
that defense is insane, and I think Jared Goff is a much more consistent quarterback than
either Watson or PJ Walker.
Yeah, the fact that PJ Walker was better than Sean Watson is hilarious. But whatever. But I think if they switch quarterbacks, I think that the Browns are significantly better because that defense is unreal.
That division, Ravens, Browns.
It's every year. It's just every year we think
the hood of the NFL.
Every year we think, oh, this team's going to be dominant forever. Nope. Because last week the Browns lost to the Steelers.
Last week Steelers beat Ravens.
Oh, Steelers beat Ravens. Yeah,
3 weeks ago was it?
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago they lost to the Steelers. Then they beat the Titans. Then they beat the Ravens last week, and then they beat the 49ers. So they're going on a bit of a streak. They play the Colts, Seahawks, Cardinals, all winnable games.
That's a good schedule.
It's a good stretch. And like if
hopefully his deep rotator cuff contusion really heals up.
Go play, bro. Whatever. I hate him.
I look at my list and I'm like, this could be different every week, and it has been different every week. But one out of the Dolphins just right now because 49ers injuries, they looked out of sorts after this week. It'll definitely be updated next week, and I'll have the Niners back up there. 2 Niners, they'll figure it out. And then my 3, 4, and 5 spot, I think you can just flip it around. No matter, like every week will be different.
Yeah.
Right now, I have the Bills Chiefs kind of like in that like 3 zone where it's like. It's like the Bills. Like we've seen them at their best, and we've seen them at their worst, and we've seen them at mediocre. Eventually, they'll figure it out. Hopefully, maybe Josh Allen will stop going out there and just doing stuff and he'll actually think.
So, are you saying like the ceiling of the Bills is like bringing them up to like that 3rd spot?
Yeah,
and it's the floor that's keeping them out of like the top 2 essentially.
Because we've seen when Josh Allen and Diggs are on, they're on.
Because I think you're right with that. Because the thing that's been interesting about the Bills is that like one of their big wins this year was against Miami. That's a good team.
Yeah.
So like clearly they have the potential to be the best team in the NFL. But then the fact that they literally almost just lost to the Giants, who were starting Tyrod Taylor and a dude that was playing there for a couple weeks and almost lost to that team. It's like that's insane. That would easily drop them out of the top.
And that's
5.
why, and that stuff kind of matters because you have to go win 4 games in the playoffs to go win. So you had to bring some semblance of a good enough game 4 times in a row. That's why I value when teams can just win games, even if they're not playing super well, like the Chiefs and the Eagles have done when they're not playing well. Because the Bills are up and down. They're like watching a roller coaster, and it's like you can bring a great game 1 in the playoffs, but then when you have to go on the road in game 2. You can't just drop a dud. You're out. You don't get a redo. It's not a 7-game series or anything like that. And that's why like the inconsistent teams up and down tend to not do well in the playoffs because you have to win 4 straight games, and you don't really get to do that on plain luck.
I like that take though, having the Bills and Chiefs kind of though.
And then same thing with the Chiefs. We've seen them at their best. We've seen them when they're on, but we've also seen them the offense struggle.
They're just like aggressively mid right now. They're just fine.
And it's like, this is my whole take on it. All these teams on paper, amazing. Like they have talent everywhere, but they play down to their competition, not above it.
That's been a consistent trend this season.
Could you see a world in which like Jerry Jeudy gets traded to the Chiefs?
Potentially, but they would never do it within division trade.
But here's the thing: is like if they're really trying to blow it up.
I mean, if the Chiefs are offering a first,
they would never offer a first.
Maybe a second.
The first is always going to be in the end of the late round.
That's true.
They're not going to do anything with it.
Even if we want to say like a second for Jerry, like if there's not going to be a better offer for him, you've got to take it for your own team's sake. I mean, listen, the Chiefs own the Broncos. It's not like they're really divisional rivals. It's something ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it was.
Patrick Mahomes has never lost.
The Broncos have not beaten the Chiefs since the Obama administration.
Yeah. What was that? What were we on? Well, started the Obama administration. Yeah. Oh damn! Now we're at 7.
Yeah. So I think the Chiefs have that one move. I think they can make it. I think the Chiefs have one move at receiver they can make in the trade deadline time frame. Like they can make a.
I wouldn't say one.
They're going to make one. I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was saying there was more than one.
Oh yeah. I think they're going to make a trade at the deadline for a receiver. Not saying elite or not, but one that's probably going to be like, yep, the offense is good now.
The person I'm really worried about is Devontae Adams.
To the Chiefs.
Not this year.
I mean, you could cancel the season.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I'm not saying this year necessarily, but like it's.
That would be crazy.
He's already got his bag, and he's like, okay, ring chase. Him or like DeAndre Hopkins. Or something like that.
I don't know if D-Hop's that good anymore, so I'm not.
He looks a little washed, but that's also because
you put him on the Chiefs. He's gonna look good.
Also, I said this during the game. We don't talk about the Titans much because they're so bad. Ryan Tannehill, I don't want him to get. I don't want people to be hurt, but
as
it's a lot better for the freaking Titans for him to be hurt. Like my God, like I'd rather watch. I don't know if Malik Willis is good. He's probably not good.
Get Will Levis in there.
Or I'd rather watch them play quarterback, even if they suck, than Ryan Tannehill. I'm not watching a complete definition. He's not even mid quarterback. He's a bad quarterback right now, and I don't want to watch it anymore. So that's my little pitch. Like, just get Will Levis in the field. I don't care if he's not ready. Put him on the field. Let him figure it out. Like it's so bad. Ryan Tannehill, I don't know. He should not have a starting job because the bad quarterbacks in the league should be the ones who are young or a bridge quarterback. He's neither. And if you're really just bad and you're an older quarterback, like a veteran, what are you doing? There's no reason for you to be in there. So
their Super Bowl window slammed shut.
yeah, they're not winning anything.
Yeah,
Makes no sense what they're doing, and they're going to get a brand new like $2 billion stadium being built soon, so that Ryan Tannehill can lead his Titans in there. Like, come on, like it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Also, did you see the creamsicle colored?
Those are awesome.
Yes, those are
I'm so happy those are back. The Buccaneers had their throwback creamsicle uniforms. It's like the orange and white. Oh, so good. Those are so good. I'm actually really happy with a lot of the uniforms that the NFL's been rolling out, or at least allowing to roll out more, because like they're for the longest time they're like these old stuffy white dudes that are like, oh, we need to for the integrity of the game. We can't have. It's like, dude, stop. Like, think about this. Money. You like money, right? More uniforms means more money. Okay, they will buy them. Like last night, it was the Giants had their color rush uniforms, and then the Bills had like their all reds, and it was like a great color combo. But before, it was like only one team was allowed to have like whatever special uniform.
That Kelly Green is going to be a special
Kelly Green's
day.
gonna look sick.
Kelly
It's gonna
Green,
be awesome.
Kelly Green revenge game after a terrible loss.
Oh,
Well, no, so that's what I'm saying. It's like eventually it's gonna be like the Kelly Greens versus like the Giants, like all white.
Yeah.
It's like that's gonna look awesome.
that'll be sick.
That's gonna look like an awesome like uniform combos, or like you have like the Chargers like full powder blues against like
No. Only one team right now can wear the powder blues. That's the
That's the
Phillies.
God, losers.
Anyways, I have Eagles at 4, Lions at 5. It's gonna be different next week. Whatever.
We'll check back in next week. Other than that, that's going to be the end of the podcast here. A little bit of a shorter podcast today. Checking our feedback. We'll be back next week, breaking down, I'm sure, another chaotic NFL week.